or resources. So this was in 1999. So he actually asked the government if they could help in any way, and the government just let him borrow the army. The army weren't busy at the time, we're pretty peaceful, so they came in and put this road in for us and used it as a training exercise. I think their reward was afterwards they got sent to Afghanistan and Iraq. But we've used the road ever since, and it's built on the real left-hand corner of the farm, just so it doesn't appear in the movies. The filmmakers, wanted it out of shot. Ideally, the farmers wanted it right down the middle of the farm, but Peter Jackson got his way. The farm that we're travelling on is quite a big farm, and it covers about 500 hectares or 1,250 acres. And when they came looking for somewhere for Hobbiton in 1998, location scouts were the first contact, and the location scouts were driving down the road over there, Button Road, and they happened to look down this way. They saw the farm, so from there they hired a plane and flew over. And on the back of the farm they saw it had a lake. They also needed some nice big trees, one in particular which is now the party tree, which William's going to tell you about, and they also wanted a bit of a rising hill. So from there they went knocking on the farmhouse door, and Mr. Alexander, who answered, it took about 20 minutes apparently because he was watching rugby, and it was one of the big All Black games, so he eventually came to the door and answered, and they started talking about Lord of the Rings, the location scouts, and Sir Peter Jackson, and he had no idea what they were talking about, but luckily his wife was there and she had a bit of an idea, so she started nodding. But he sent them off down the farm, and they came down the back of the farm, and when they got to the point that you're going to walk around the lake, they decided, perfect for Hobbiton, and they set about working out a contract with the farmers. So we work for them day to day. The Alexanders run the business, but the actual tour business is also owned by people like Sir Peter Jackson. Warner Brothers would have a share as well. They're the cinema, so it's quite a big business. Fiddle, William. I'm driving. So if you look out to the right as we drive along here, you'll get a bit of a view into the set there, and you're going to walk around the lake in there. So when William's walking around with you, he's going to show you the actual set they rebuilt for The Hobbit. So in 2008, Peter Jackson decided to film The Hobbit. We were running tours from 2002, and when he came back they had to rebuild everything for The Hobbit movie. They made it out of permanent materials, so everything you see there now is hopefully going to last for a few more decades. On the left hand side of the bridge is called the Mill House. It's got like a turning mill wheel, and on the right hand side is our Green Dragon Inn, which is actually quite a busy pub these days. So we serve a drink on the tour. William will tell you about choices. They also sell some pretty nice food in there as well. Come on, bus. Your ears are growing. So when they came here, they did all the building just at the back of the farm here, and they did it out of sight of the road. They were quite private and a little bit paranoid. The filmmakers didn't really want anyone flying over, so there was actually a little law passed to make it a no-flying zone over Hobbiton. And if you were caught flying over, you could risk losing your pilot's license, which a couple of people did apparently. Just around here is where they built everything. So this was called the technical car park, and they actually built the exteriors of the houses here and carried them by hand just down this little pathway to the right. You might see over there a bit of fencing and the old chimney over there. That's the top of Hobbiton there. On the left hand side, this little paddock here served as an animal enclosure, and with the movies they tried to make everything here look more English, because the books are from England after all. So they even bought their own animals for the movie, and they tried to make them English style Clydesdale horses and oxen, things like pigs, ferrets, ducks, chickens, rats and mice. They also they did want sheep in the movie, and the sheep on the farm, the Romney breed here, they definitely auditioned, but Peter Jackson thought they looked a bit too modern, so they actually brought a different type of sheep in for the film with black faces and black feet, and the movie people called them the stunt sheep. Just on the left here, they had a big setup there for catering, for hairdressing, makeup. They had a coffee shop there. It was called Base Camp, so that followed the movies. And when they went to a new location, it could be up to 400 vehicles had to take off, and they'd usually try and travel at night so they didn't lose any filming days. But yeah, very, very good food apparently. The people are still talking about the food in the movies, all the cast and the crew. They had 2-course breakfast, 2-course lunch, 3-course dinners, and a food budget of about $2 million for The Hobbit. Yeah, really top-notch caterers actually. Alright, so we're going to start the tour just in that little car park ahead of us. That's where William's going to set off with you. He's going to go over a few little things to keep in mind. The main thing is if you can just keep him in sight. William's going to lead you all up and down different hills here and right through Hobbiton, so keep him in sight. And yeah, if you want to get the most out of your tour, he's going to tell you lots of information as well. If you do want to put on a bit of costuming, we have clothing that we leave in the pub. So we don't have the hairy feet, I'm sorry, but we do have nice old-fashioned clothing and sticks and things, so if you want to take it to a next level, get some good photos. And yeah, just when you get off the bus too, please just make sure that you've got everything with you. We'll be kind of back and forward all day, so there will be other people on board, and these seats have a habit of swallowing cell phones. Anyway, I'll hand over to William here. There's toilets through the gate to the left. The weather's looking okay, but we have umbrellas anyway to the right and a rubbish bin. Have a great tour. Thank you.